This is Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and you're listening to the Paranormal Zone.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen. It does happen.
A ghostly apparition in the dark of night.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So, Patrick, this is another episode. It's another, we're going to do our best, okay? But I wanted to start with a question. It might be a simple question. It might be something you'll be able to answer very easily, but you might have to think about it. You might have to ponder about it a little bit.
Oh, goodness gracious. You're already making my brain sweat. Okay.
I know. Well, yeah, I think a lot of listeners are going to sweat with something after I ask you this question.
Oh, my gosh. I cannot wait.
Anyway, so the question is, and any listener that's listening, if you come up with the good, right, yes answer, no answer, whatever, and why, let us know. But Patrick, okay, now if you were to wear an antenna, you could put it anywhere, put it on your head, whatever, wrap it around your ankle like a ankle bracelet. I have no idea. Probably best out of your head. Two of them, one on each side.
The reception wouldn't be good on my ankles, you would think.
Well, no, but if you were to wear an antenna to a wedding, now think of this, to a wedding, you've got two antennas and you're at a wedding. The wedding is all done, but with those antenna, would the reception be better? That's a question that needs to be thought about, asked, and talked about.
Really? That's how you're starting the show off?
Start it with just a knocker.
Well, Mike, yes, the reception would be better.
I think so.
Now, are we referring to the same reception here? That's the gist of the joke.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm just surprised that you even label it as a joke.
Yeah, it isn't. It was.
It's like a farted out pun, basically.
It was
a little shart on it.
A very little shart. It was a feeble attempt at humor, but
feeble.
But
okay.
That's what we're good at.
But, yeah, and I'm not the one that came up with that. I will not take credit for it. But it had to be asked.
Yeah. Well, I told you my wonderful dad joke that I told my kids.
Yeah. I wonder how many of our listener dads would get a kick out of it. I got a slight kick out of it.
So I threw it at my teen daughters on the way to a town called Bemidji.
Bemidji.
Yeah, it can be Bemidji for sure. A town called Bemidji, right in north central Minnesota, an hour north of here, my residence. And
hence the name changed to Bemidji.
Right. But
anyway, go ahead.
Going into Bemidji, about 12 miles, I think, west of it, there is a town called Besida. Becida.
I've been by that many times. I've been by Besida many times.
So I threw out the wonderful dad joke, and forgive me to anybody who thinks I'm being offensive with the tone that I'm going to use here, but that's part of the joke. So I told them, if someone ever asks you where Besida is, I simply tell them this: it's right beside Bemidji.
Sorry to any Italian listeners we might have.
He's right beside Bemidji.
That's not a good one, Patrick.
So, hey, I had to try and match your reception joke there.
Yeah,
so,
well, go eat a chunk of garlic and try the accent again.
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. No, thank you. No, thank you.
A little bit of tomato sauce on it and a piece of pasta.
Oh, it's a piece of pasta. Well, Mike, it is good to see you. It is
good to see you too, my friend.
What is it today? Saturday, March 2nd. This is the Paranormal Zone, but you knew that already. This is your weekly dose of all things. Hell yeah, you guessed it. Paranormal, strange, and mysterious. My name is Patrick Kaufenberg, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host with the ghosts, the paranormal poster boy himself. Let me grab my professional notes. How did I refer to you this evening? Ah, yes. The man who literally owns antique cans of reptile cleaner, Mr. Mike Carbonell. Now, please explain to our listeners what the hell I meant by that. He showed me a can, an antique can that is labeled.
It's still full even.
It's labeled reptile cleaner. So explain.
Well, I bought this at a rummage sale in a box that just had a lot of neat old stuff in it. And I found it in the box, and it says a can. Well, Justin is the brand name, I guess. Justin Reptile Cleaner. Cleans, polishes, and preserves genuine leather and imitation reptile leather. Now, you asked, is that for if you have a snake in your house or a lizard?
That's what popped in my brain. I thought like lizard shampoo. That's what I was thinking.
Lizard shampoo. Well, I'm sure it could work. I don't think they would like it.
No, but, absolutely not.
Yeah, it says it preserves, cleans, and nourishes all reptile leather, helps eliminate splitting and cracking, quickly removes dirt, restores the natural beauty on all colors.
Now, is there a date? Is there a date on this can?
No, but I wish there was. What I'm going to have to do is do a Google on it, and I can find it.
You got to use the Google.
Yeah. It's a made in USA expressly for Justin Boot Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. Keep out of reach of children. Contents under pressure. Do not puncture or incinerate. Store at room temperature.
Damn
avoid
it.
freezing. And do not inhale it.
Well, what fun is that, Mike? You can't blow it up. I mean, I know that's what you...
So throw it in your fire pit in the backyard and walk away and wait for it to go.
You explain to the doctor, how'd you get these third-degree burns? Reptile cleaner. And you go, of course.
I have a lot of loose bullets laying around I could do the same with.
Jeez,
that'd be more dangerous, though.
Yeah, do you want to say that out loud on the podcast? Mike just has random bullets laying around the house.
They go with my vintage antique guns.
Yes, that is very true. And you do have some pretty badass antique guns.
I love
some of them you got. Some of them you got from your late father, correct?
Yes, he gave them to me. I have a British Enfield from World War II that he actually used in the Korean War. Not this exact one, but one exactly like it. He had this for years, and he actually used it for deer hunting.
Oh, wow.
And I have bullets for that.
Mike, were you? I cannot imagine that you were a deer hunter, but I'm assuming did your dad take you deer hunting when you were?
Nope, he knew better.
Really?
I was too sensitive. I
figured. Yeah. I've never even sniffed an opportunity at going deer hunting. And it's as listeners may or may not know, deer hunting is a phenomenon here up in Minnesota.
And in North Dakota.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
In the wintertime, I've driven through places, where we went to Standing Rock Hill and did some EVP work and spirit box work.
Sure.
In that area, certain times in the wintertime, there are hundreds and hundreds of deer. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty intense. That's for sure. I mean, people have, I guess, what's the word I want to think of? It's like it's like a holiday. People get released from work so they can go for 2 weeks on their deer hunting escapades, and it's no big deal. It's awesome. It's like I get it. Yes, go shoot those deer.
These are people that wish for snow during deer hunting season so they can track them easier.
What a bizarre year, man! It is March 3rd, and there's not one drop of snow. Maybe there's a little ice because that's Minnesota for you. I mean, it's a beautiful warm day today, but a couple days ago it was down to like 13 again.
Right.
With really strong, just ice cold winds.
We had that here as well. But now, it's going to be up in the 50s, upper 40s, and, we could grill out if we wanted to. Comfortably.
It was so nice out. I didn't wear pants. Or shorts.
Okay. You wore a pair of panties or pantyhose?
Long johns.
Okay.
And that's
with
it.
Panties underneath, probably.
Bright red long johns with
a flap in the back.
With a flap in the back, unsealed, unhooked flap.
Yeah, the buttons have been undone.
Which revealed my Star Wars Yoda undies.
And it also showed your Boba Fett tattoo on your left ass cheek.
It sure did. I mean, you can't. As hard as I try, you can't cover that sucker up, man. It's just
absolutely.
You know how it is.
I'm glad I've never seen it.
And no, everybody, I am kidding. I don't even own a pair of long johns. But
you have, but you have holes in your nipples.
I did at one point for sure.
And that's just as bad. I'd rather have a tattoo on my ass.
I'm sure I've shared this story on the podcast before, but when I got said nipple pierced years ago, it was bizarre because there's actually another patron there. It was a middle-aged gal, and she saw that I was going to get said nipple ripped open, and she walked in the back room where this was going to happen, and she said, "Can I watch?"
Where was her hands when she said that?
I don't know. All I know is I was very uncomfortable laying there shirtless with this thing about ready to almost sever my male appendage. You know.
What I want to know is, how did you answer her?
I said, sure. I didn't care. I really didn't. I was like, yeah, if you want to, I guess.
How old was this lady? Did you say she was an older lady?
I know. I guess middle-aged, I would say 40s, 50s, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. From what I remember.
Watch.
Yeah. Can I watch?
Let the boy watch.
Well, like I said, Mike, it is good to see you. I tweeted last night that it's not. I hope it wasn't misunderstood what I tweeted about promoting this show. This isn't like a rebirth of the Paranormal Zone.
We can't do that again because it screws us up badly.
Yeah, my bad. My failure. My poor decision. Let's change the name. Let's change 6 years of the Ultimate Route podcast built up audience members.
You very poorly advertise it.
I didn't advertise it.
I know.
I don't know what the hell I was
Hence
thinking.
the word poorly, which should be an adjective or two added to it.
Yeah, poorly. Pat poorly did whatever. Pat poorly promotes podcasts. There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's not like a rebirth or we're not really doing any major changes, but we are. And we've had some serious discussion here, Mike, and we're always open and honest here. And let's let the listeners know what we're kind of intending on doing from here on out. We're going to kind of resort to some of our Ultimate Podcast tactics, I guess. When we became the Paranormal Zone, we decided to be more focused on a single topic, and we'd have different segues into like Bigfoot encounters or alien stories or whatever, but we always wanted to be very, very focused. The Last Call, I think it was called. And then we had terminal episodes. Not saying we're not going to have terminal episodes anymore.
Right.
We're still gonna have a true crime dedicated episode, on
which
occasion.
we're due for a long time.
Yeah, we're overdue. But we are, when I say that we're going back to some of these alternate route podcast tactics, we're just going to be even more so, as hard as it may be to believe, we're just going to be more and more laid back and structured in a sense that differs from what we've been doing as a Paranormal Zone. We're going to go back to like segments. We're going to go back to different, highlights or lowlights throughout the episode.
More deep dive topic and subject matter that we are going to come out with a blast of knowledge.
Well, you will, yeah. I guess.
We used to be good at that.
It's like today's episode is a perfect example because it's still going to be ghostly in nature. I mean, everything is going to be.
We always have to be paranormal.
Everything is tied to
another.
Everything is tied to the paranormal. These new segments, they're all going to be fun and crazy and weird, but they're all going to be all going to be dedicated to the paranormal, the weird, the strange, and mysterious.
Yes.
Some of the new segments, I mean, we wrote down several notes. We kind of bantered back and forth what we're going to do. We're going to, just read them off. A lot of alliterations here. We got Ghost Gab, thoughts on specific paranormal questions. We've got paranormal ponderings, like Mike's specific, maybe if he feels like it, feels up to it. This is a work in progress, everybody. Mike has a little cute segment where he talks about some personal ghostly experience.
It's so cute.
Monster musings, random cryptid alleged Cryptid Encounters, Weird Encounters, Paranormal Puzzlers. More, it's kind of a rename of the Head Scratchers segment from years ago. Maybe we're going to throw in some sort of game, some sort of contest. That'll be fun. I had the idea maybe of doing like some segment called Blast from the Past. Maybe a better name. Eventually it'll pop into my brain. But we're going to just go and record a random 1.5, 2-minute clip from an episode in 2016, 2017, whenever I choose. I'll go on our Patreon page and I'll find something. I'll record it and we'll share it on this episode and we'll talk about it. We'll say, oh my God, we sounded moronic.
We'll talk about, we do today.
Yes. Let's listen to how much we've grown and matured, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Any sort of random stuff.
How much Patrick's voice has changed.
I know. It doesn't pierce, bats' ears anymore, pretty much.
The dogs don't howl.
We got pop culture in the paranormal and pop culture, supernatural slants, known stories / cases, or even people with possible paranormal roots, connections. I think this one would be pretty cool, Mike. We have Conspiracy Corner. Again, random brief takes. Keyword brief takes on alleged conspiracies. There's that word again, alleged. God damn it, I gotta stop saying that. I think I've said it 5 times already.
Hey, that reminds me too. Just recently there was a show, and I can't remember what it was, but it seems that with technology today that has been used, I don't know if it was LiDAR or some kind of a ground penetrating something or other, but they feel that they have found where Jimmy Hoffa was buried.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And
I thought he was supposedly like buried underneath like Giant Stadium or something like that.
At one of the goal areas of
the end zone.
Stadium. Yes, that is what they think they have found.
That was always been a I don't want to say conspiracy, but that's always been a theory.
Exactly.
This is where the hell he supposedly ended up.
Well, I still think it was aliens, but
you think so? Really?
Yeah, he's probably up on some ship right now, hoffing away.
Hanging out with Bigfoot up there, hoffing away.
Yeah, anyway.
Hoffing and puffing. Another one popped in my brain. I like this haphazard horror. We're going to start off this episode with this segment, random weekly doses of the macabre, Mike. I love it. Yeah, just stuff that perhaps makes your skin crawl a little bit, but this will go all over the place. So I got a good one to start off this segment today. It's going to be a good one. Good episode. We're not changing how we are. No worries to those who saw the tweet.
Yeah, well, that could have upset some people, but
I don't know. Yeah, perhaps.
Yes. But can I interject?
No, you cannot.
With one quick question, and this is a real question.
Fine, as long as it's quick.
Okay, is Disneyland a people trap operated by a mouse? That I need to know. And I think it's a possibility. But
so are you going to do this throughout the episode? You're just going to throw out questions like that?
No, I'm done. I'm putting my list away right now.
I think that's a good idea, though. I like that. I think you should do that just to break it up every now and then to stop me from ranting. Just throw out
get cramps after eating. Stuff like that. I have to know.
Did you say do fish get crabs? What
cramps after eating? They don't wait that half hour, but would they have to be on land out of the water after they eat to get the cramps?
Well, some fish can walk on land. That's no joke.
Junior, you can't get out of the water until a half hour after you ate that worm. Stuff like that. But anyway, I have interjected enough at this moment, so go ahead.
Can I continue then? I'm allowed to go on? Okay.
Can I finish? Yes.
Right. I forgot where I was now. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Get it out of the way, the necessary plugs. But it's a necessary evil for sure. Starting next month. Starting in April. And this is seriously, this will be a big change. But we think it will be
a good one.
It'll be a good one, and I think it'll be worth it.
A simple one to deal with.
We have tried our best to have a very consistent recording schedule to get a minimum.
And we suck at it.
A minimum of 4 episodes out a month. One a week.
Yes.
And sometimes, like Mike said, we downright suck at that for various reasons. They're all legit, but man alive, crap happens.
And we apologize to every listener that we hopefully still have.
And we understand that can be frustrating.
Yes.
But what we have decided to do is we're going to cut down the amount of episodes per month to 2. It's going to be an every other week episode starting in April. But
I was going to say, yes.
if you just miss us so much and you just need your weekly dose of your Paranormally Zone content, yeah, I bet you can see where this is going. We are, no doubt about it, we are going to be recording multiple Patreon episodes per month. If those 2 flagship episodes a month aren't enough for you, well, good golly, Miss Molly, gosh darn it, anyhow, head on over to the Paranormally Zone Patreon page because we're going to have multiple new Patreon exclusive episodes every month for your listening pleasure. You can sign up for $1.
It sounds like you're begging for money.
Does it? Does it really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's okay because I have been also as well. I started a freaking GoFundMe for crying out loud.
Well, you have legit reasons. Like your basement is a swamp right now, essentially. So
yeah. The furnace. We're waiting for it to just burn the house up.
You know, and I'm going to thank some listeners on your behalf because I asked you if you wanted to do this last weekend, and you felt so humbled and you didn't want to bring it up. Do you? Right. You know where I'm going? Do you want to take over? Do you want me to say?
Well, no, you go ahead. But I have not reached out to these people individually yet. But I swear to God, I am going to write a heartfelt message to each one of them, thanking them for their love and compassion and all that. Go ahead.
Well, you know who you are listening. Hopefully you're listening to this in the near future, and you helped Mike out in his sincere dire needs right now. He and Mary are and again, we're not making this a woe is me segment by any means, and we're going to move on. But Mike sends his heartfelt thanks to you, and like he said, he's going to reach out to you personally. You guys know who you are. So kind of you. I mean, it blows me away. I know Mike was very moved, and
absolutely.
So,
and I'm very moved also by not having my hot water heater work for months. we heat water on the stove to wash our hair and our private parts.
So I thought you were saying it makes you move because, like, when you take a shower, you're like doing jumping jacks in there now to kind of keep the body heat going. You're like,
I won't do that. My penis will freeze and fall off if I did.
See, I was going to mention, Mike. It's like, we're kind of going on a new venture. Can you hold your tongue with the penis word every now and then?
I thought I'd been doing pretty good.
I know. I'm kidding. You can say it as much as you want. Well, maybe not. No, don't say it as much as you want.
Would you rather that I said penis or vagina?
I guess. Well, neither of them are offensive to me by any means. And why should they be? They're appendages. They're body parts. But
the thing is that there are some people that could be offended by that, and I don't want to offend anybody.
Exactly. Well, we've received notices from people saying that our humor is very childish, and they so it's like it's like, hey, you know what? You throw out a penis joke every now and then, so be it. Okay, it's not like. Yeah.
But even if it's not liked by one listener, I will gladly stop.
Oh, I know. I get you, Mike. I get you. So, zip it.
Zip it.
With the private part commentary. You got it? Okay.
Zip. It is zipped.
Okay, good. Mike, let's start off the show.
You've rambled a lot.
I did write down, too. I wrote down by an asterisk. I said, background music comment. I briefly thought about, maybe it's time to bring back some of that, very, very quiet background music, but I decided against it, and probably wisely. So, a particular longtime listener, if you're still out there, I know that you commented on how you were annoyed as hell by the background music. Don't worry. I'm not bringing it back. I'm not bringing it back. So,
well, you used to, like, way back, you used to have it so loud. It's like,
I know.
I can't understand what you're saying.
I know. All
I hear is this crackly music and Patrick's voice, popping out once in a while. But you loved it. You said, no, we got to have that background music. Now, that was a good change, dumping that.
Yeah, I think so, too.
We do need the soundboard back.
Oh, absolutely. The thing is, I need to find a new player because I think when it works great, but it also seems to be causing more problems, and I'm too nervous to risk it because we've been experiencing, knock on wood, too many dang internet connection problems. I've been experiencing, knock on wood, too many damn hard drive problems on my computer, which causes my laptop to literally just give me the blue screen of death in the middle of like a conversation like this. And so please, and podcast gods, do not do that to me today.
Right. And we do need to do this because, we don't want to disappoint listeners. We obviously don't want to lose listeners, but I mean, that's totally their choice and no judgment, no questions asked. But, you know, if we disappoint people, that has to turn around.
You sound so sad when you said that. Oh my gosh, Mike.
Well, that's because I love our listeners, and I know you do too. There's a real love there. It's not like, you know, just easily thrown out there.
No,
and that's the way it is. I mean, and I'm being totally serious about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, carry on.
Nope. Yep. Don't say the dumb joke, please.
Okay. So what do little birds see when they get knocked unconscious or knocked on the head? What do little birds see? We see the birds flying around our head. Well, cartoons do, but why? What do birds see? Like people running around their head and making little people noises. I don't know.
They see the passed on spirits of former bird family members. Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
Mike, it's time for a new segment. It's called Haphazard Horror. Yeah, we're talking about weekly random doses of the macabre. I think this is a good one. Mike, are you familiar with the name Robert Liston?
I've heard it.
And he is in no way related to former heavyweight boxing champion Sonny Liston.
Sonny Liston, absolutely.
This guy was alive well before that time. Born in 1794, as a matter of fact, passed away in 1847.
Could be an ancestor, possibly.
But this guy, he was a Scottish surgeon, okay?
Oh, he'd be a Scottish surgeon.
Back in the early 1800s.
Drinking the old Tullamore blended whiskey is what he is.
So he might be a long-lost relative of yours, maybe, I guess. Scottish.
Well, he was the dram.
No, you're Norwegian. I keep forgetting you're Norwegian, not Scottish.
I'm very, very Norwegian. I'm very Scotch-Irish, too. I mean, kind of in British. I'm kind of like a kind of an even mix.
You are a literal melting pot, all on your own.
A very, very wonderful nationalities that I'm so proud of, and that's the honest truth.
A pasty white melting pot.
Well, that's my Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Robert Liston was a Scottish surgeon, most famous for amputating a patient's leg in under 2.5 minutes. In fact, operating so quickly that in the process he also amputated the fingers of his assistant
that was holding the man down because they did not use any anesthetic at the time.
Slashed the coattails of a spectator who happened to then drop dead from sheer terror.
What did he use, a samurai sword or what?
The patient, Robert Liston's patient, and his assistant later died from gangrene.
God. A very dirty samurai sword.
A very, very dirty samurai sword.
Got a wee bit of rust on it. Get rid of it.
Making it the only recorded operation with a 300% mortality rate.
And that record will never be beat.
Whew. I hope to God not, but I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Oh, I wish you were, but go ahead.
Now, fellow British surgeon and author Richard Gordon described Liston as the following. Liston was 6'2" and operated in a bottle green coat with Wellington boots. He sprung across the blood-stained boards upon his swooning, sweating, strapped-down patient like a duelist, calling, this is a quote, "Time me, gentlemen, time me." Yelling
so he's trying to beat his own record is what he's doing.
Much to the chagrin of his strapped-down patients, he yelled, "Time me, gentlemen," to his students craning with pocket watches from the iron railinged galleries. Everyone swore that the first flash of his knife was followed so swiftly by the rasp of saw on bone that sight and sound seemed simultaneous. To free both hands, he would clasp the bloody knife between his teeth.
Wow.
Now, Gordon's book, Great Medical Disasters from 1983, lists some of Liston's other surgical procedures.
No.
These are some of his successful surgical procedures. Removal in 4 minutes, Mike, of a 45-pound scrotal tumor.
Oh, my God.
Whose owner
that man had a hard time sitting.
This is no joke. This is like the freaking South Park episode whose owner had to carry it around in a wheelbarrow.
Not funny, but it's just ooh.
Also, he is known to have amputated the leg in less than 2.5 minutes, but in his enthusiasm, the patient's testicles as well.
Of course. I mean, you can't get him out of the way.
Arguments with his house surgeon. House surgeon was the red pulsating tumor in a small boy's neck, a straightforward abscess of the skin, or a dangerous aneurysm of the carotid artery. Pooh, Liston exclaimed impatiently. Whoever heard of an aneurysm in one so young? Flashing a knife from his waistcoat pocket, he lanced it. Yes, he did. Houseman's note. Out leaped arterial blood, and the boy fell. The patient died.
A little green frog and chirping away. Anyway.
The patient unfortunately died, but the artery lives in the University College Hospital Pathology Museum, specimen number 1256.
I don't want to see it.
And last but not least, in 1846, Liston went on to perform the first operation using modern anesthesia in Europe. He also invented bulldog forceps, a tool to lock artery forceps, and a leg splint to help with fractures and dislocations. Both are still used today. So there you go. It ended on a high note there for Surgeon Robert Liston.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody's got a bad foot and it's very badly mangled and broken. Oh, I think I better go see Dr. Liston. He's really good. No, no, you don't do that. Your family, if they're there, or doctors that are there watching, are going to die.
You need a nut cup when you go see Dr. Robert Liston.
Oh, jeez, made out of freaking iron.
An iron nut cup. That is, you cannot remove it. It is samurai safe. Yeah, hopefully you don't have a testicle tumor that grows to the size of this gentleman's 45-pound ailment. Oh.
And that raspy saw that he cuts through those bones.
Gotta love the sound of bones through femurs, or saws through femur bones. Goodness gracious.
Bone dust and chunks flying everywhere. Anyway, okay.
So
I think we're going a little too far on this, but
no, I think it's a good start. I'm done. That's our first take, our first attempt at our haphazard horror segment, Mike. What do you think about that one?
Lufta. Well, the only thing I have to say about that is, why do feet smell and noses run? I do not understand that. But anyway, go ahead. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are.
I'm sorry. That was actually pretty good. That was good timing.
All right.
That was pretty good. I'm proud of you. I like that.
I feel bad that I threw it in there, but go ahead.
Don't feel bad. No, you own canned reptile cleaners, so you don't ever feel bad. Don't ever feel bad. And we don't want this obviously to be any, like just a segment filled new take of the Paranormal Zone.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, let's go into a new segment.
Yeah, actually, the Silent Hill movie poster that I have behind me, the little girl doesn't have a mouth.
Yeah.
I still saw her smile when I said that. A little bit.
Wow, no kidding.
Got a little bit of smile on that no mouth face. Well, yeah, that one.
Isn't that don't people, claim that like sometimes if they stare long enough at the Mona Lisa, they swear that she starts smiling and even more profoundly than she does, because she has like very faint little kind of like
Absolutely. And I start noticing the fuzz on her lip.
And I get it, because you know what that reminds me of, Mike? Scrying. You sit there and you stare at a mirror forever. You're gonna start looking like Lawrence Taylor. I don't know why the hell Lawrence Taylor. Do you even know who Lawrence Taylor is, Mike?
I have no idea.
He is a Hall of Fame outside linebacker for the New York Giants.
Hence the reason I do not know who.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to make a very very serious. I'm going to let this out.
Just let it go. Let it go.
I've tried, and I've tried but I hate football.
I know you do. That's just where
I hate it.
You and I just clash on that one, man.
Oh my God!
But we have never ever sat down and attempted to even talk about it because I respect your aversion to it. So,
but what team would I have to go with? I mean,
hey, you hush! You hush! You don't go there.
And why? Why would I? But anyway, go ahead. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Mr. Poopy Pants over there.
Do radioactive cats have 18 half-lives? That's a question I need to know too.
That was pretty not as good as the other one, but
it's something to think about though. That's a ponderable.
I don't know if it's a paranormal puzzler, but it's getting.
No, it's not. It's not.
So, Mike, this show is and always will be focused heavily on all things paranormal. I mean, it just always will be. That's why we started this show.
That's why, yes.
We started that.
That's our rah-da-da.
Bridget and I started it because we just wanted to have a fun podcast. Nonsense Cast Radio was just a bunch of random silliness on mine and her parts, and slowly, gradually.
I came along and ruined it all.
No, you did not. You did not. Dustin Perry did that. We can blame.
I ruined it with my drunken episodes.
No. Again, you can blame Dustin Perry. Okay, he's the one who set us down this path. Okay, and Dustin, if you're listening, I know you're not, but
we love you. We love you, Dustin, and that is God's honest truth.
And yeah, we are going to still attempt to land awesome guests on our show on occasion, because how can we not? It's always an honor, always a blast to talk to.
Yeah, we've been failing at that a little bit lately.
Fantastic, all these fantastic people. Well, it's been really difficult. I'll just be frank, and you can be Mike, and I'll be Frank.
Absolutely,
it's really hard. People are busy, and it's different, Mike. It really has changed even in the last 5-6 years. I could reach out to people very, very casually, and a lot of times I would be luck out and they would reply. Not too many people do that anymore. I mean,
now it's like, well, let's get your people to contact our people.
Exactly. And that's no joke. And I totally understand.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So I thought, though,
we understand.
Yeah, we understand. All things ghostly. It's always going to be all things ghostly on this show. Let's dive into some Ghost Gab, Mike. Ghost Gab, we're going to be talking about, kind of our thoughts, theories, opinions on any sort of specific paranormal question or, what have you, hypothesis, and I found a really interesting, quick, short little list. They're just random questions. I want to throw some out to you.
I like it.
And we're going to try and do this, weekly, every other week, whatever. But this is Ghost Gab time, boys and girls. We go from haphazard horror to Ghost Gab. I'm telling you, the alliterations are everywhere in this new
We should have
venture.
Stuff like this we need to have intro music for.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, I have, I still have some for a weekly top 5 WTF, some really hard blasting hardcore rock and roll stuff, but I'll find some new stuff.
Yeah.
The 5 minutes alone segment was always pretty cool. Which was super fun because Bridget was awesome at that, because she would find something that she was pissed off about, and 5 minutes of pure adrenalized venting.
Ranting.
All right, Mike, we're going to start off with a very, very basic but profound question. What are ghosts? Let's briefly take that on again. Again, we've talked about this several times, but you take it for now. What are ghosts?
It's the discorporated soul of a human being.
Discorporated?
Yeah. I learned that off of the original first Pet Sematary movie.
I like it.
Discorporate. Anyway.
So elaborate though, Mike. Go on a little bit about what you feel inside of you. What is it? What are ghosts? What is it? You see an apparition. What the hell are you seeing?
You're seeing the pure energy, the spirit, the soul, what is left behind after the flesh and blood human ceases to exist.
Ceases to be.
And wherever the soul is in you, whether it's in your heart or it's just the shape of you in your body, it's like, who knows? It's been said to be seen leaving the body at times. People witness this.
It went to join the choir invisible.
Right, exactly. It's pure energy. It is the pure energy that has existed within us since before birth, I believe. Conceptually, spirit assigned to this physical being, after it's done with the physical body, it has to leave. It's like rats jumping off of a sinking ship. Maybe, I don't know. That's a bad analogy. But
no, I don't think it's a bad analogy. So, you are definitely of the belief that the human body is kind of like you said, Mike, the ship, the vessel. The human body is simply the vessel.
Absolutely, the vessel
for this energy that
yes
always is.
The pure energy that has all the knowledge of what we gained throughout our lives. And I think when the spirit has that energy and is that energy, that knowledge and everything expands. We're more than what we were physically, but we still, as a spirit form, as our energy form at that stage, still has, carries on human, I don't want to say imperfections, but human
attributes,
feelings, knowledge, emotions. It's all wrapped up in that. That's where we get the earthbound spirits, the visits from spirits, the haunted houses, the things that we love to hunt for.
So you definitely you 100% believe that the common, how do I want to say it? Not description, but the basis of what a ghost is to you is it is a soul, it is a spirit, it is an energy related to.
It's the spark.
It's physical
of
vessel.
Living. If you want to speak religiously or whatever, I mean, it's the spark that's given to each person at birth, already assigned before conception.
So it is not in any way to you. I know we talked about this kind of recently. It is not in any way to you some sort of misconception, a misconception on how we perceive things when someone sees a ghost. They're not seeing the spirit of one who formerly lived in a physical vessel on this earth. They are, in fact, seeing the breaking of the interdimensional veil. And I'm talking about like time travel. I'm talking multiple dimensions here. I'm talking about other existences that are somehow kind of bubbling together.
Sure.
You see like a carbonated drink every now and then. A lot of those bubbles, they pop up to the surface, and some of them kind of go in and out inside of each other, right?
Right. Okay, sure. Yeah.
So those are, think of those bubbles as like dimensions, and every now and then one dimension goes inside of the other one, and then like people, I'm doing air quotes, people in that bubble are seeing themselves from the other bubble as they both intertwine.
Sure. And they're everywhere. It's like a neutrino. You can't see them, but they're there and they're bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going through each other. It's like a level.
I love that possibility.
A lower level of something like that.
For me, honestly, I love that possibility of the, countless dimensions and the idea of,
absolutely,
quote unquote, ghosts actually being versions of ourself from another dimension. I love that idea.
Yeah.
But I think I'm leaning with you, Mike, whereas I think ghosts, as we commonly perceive them, are in fact spiritual in nature. They are like a soul, so to speak.
Right.
That's how I'm leaning.
Essence.
Very good. Yes, it's the essence. It's the energy. Yeah. That's where I'm leaning, but I love the idea of the interdimensional explanation as well.
Oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah.
All right, moving on. A couple more questions quickly here.
Okay.
Can a person, Mike, be followed from place to place by a ghost?
Oh, well, that's a stupid question, of course. I mean, look at how many investigators go to places, go to cemeteries, houses, whatever. And then they go home, go to bed that night, and holy shit, there's something there that came popped in the car and came home with them. I mean,
Attachments, baby. Attachments.
Attachments, exactly what it is. Our listeners know about all that stuff. I mean, we have the smartest listeners in the world to any podcast.
Well, if that was a quote unquote dumb question, and
no, it wasn't a dumb question.
No.
There are no dumb questions.
Why, Mike, are some people more receptive to ghosts than others? Come on, Mr. Smarty Pants here.
Like me, very receptive, and since I think childhood. I wonder about my imaginary friend Tom when I was barely 4 or 5 years old.
I remember
that. I remember that like it was yesterday.
I remember you talking about Tom.
I remember being in my bedroom, sitting on the floor, playing with my Hot Wheels or whatever, and or my Tinker, whatever they are. But anyway,
you're going to say Tinker toys?
My Tinker Dinker, my Lincoln Logs, whatever.
Anyway, Lincoln Logs, love them.
Yes, or my barrel of monkeys that I mentioned on the last episode. But anyway, where were we? I totally blew this out of my mind.
Why are some people more receptive to ghosts than others?
Okay, yes, right. Okay, there are some people like me. I'm going to add myself into this, and not as look at what I can do, but I think your reception starts with everybody at a young age. And people have heard this analogy before that before you get wrapped up in the world, wrapped up in people saying, you're too old to believe in that crap. That can just ruin a kid's thing. It's like, there is no Santa Claus. What?
I know.
It's like ghosts. There's no such a thing as that.
Bridget.
Even though that kid may have been experiencing what possibly could be a spiritual entity, that they only thing that they can rationalize it as is a friend. There's somebody else that's there.
Bridget just finally told me last Easter that there was no such thing as the Easter Bunny.
As what?
As there's no such thing as the Easter Bunny. Bridget finally told me that last year.
There is many Easter bunnies, and they're all chocolate, and they're very tasty.
I don't know.
That's what I believe.
She broke my then 46-year-old heart. I mean,
yeah,
I'm still trying to recover. So.
Every time you bite that chocolate face off, you're murdering another Easter bunny. But boy, is it good. A little bit of Cadbury there, and I'm happy.
So, have you answered the question? Why are some people more receptive? Or
so anyway,
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to you. So
I know. Yeah, that's why at the end of the show, after we're done recording, you're like, "Okay, what did you mean by?"
Yeah, I clarify after we're done.
And the more we do this, the more I'm getting away from the answer to this question. But okay, I grew up choosing to not let this go. Well, and like I've said to longtime listeners, that I was raised that way. My father, I mean, he was like my rock, my paranormal rock that I held on to and grew up with. But the sensitivity is there, the willing to have that sensitivity and accept it, to not gloss over it. You're going to be more receptive. The more you let yourself believe, the more you see, the more you experience. There's no way that you're going to lose that, and every reason that you're going to have it. I could go very deep with that.
No,
but
I totally get you, because I think it's when you're young, you are so easily influenced. You can be so easily influenced. I mean, you're still. Is the term malleable? Is that correct? You're still forming your own personality, your own personal belief system. And if someone that you totally look up to or respect or any number of things adamantly tells you one thing or another, one way or another, you're probably going to be set in that way of thinking for quite a while.
Exactly, very heavily influenced by others.
This will sound kind of humorous for everyone who knows that I'm not exactly a gigantic man. I mean, but I use this analogy.
You're a teeny tiny fan.
I am a teeny tiny little man.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, 5'7", 145 pounds of pure. I don't know what you want to call it. Pure maniacal, ruthless. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
You're so tiny, I could use you for a toothpick.
I know. He uses me as a plunger every now and then. I can fit down that damn toilet.
Anyway,
what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Just as an example, it'll seem humorous, but we briefly mentioned it before. I mean, yeah, I've been a lifelong fan of sports. I have lost
like millions of people.
I have lost probably years of my life stressing out over, the Vikings and the Twins and the Timberwolves and go on, but especially back in the day, I was so passionate, Mike, about football. Football players were like heroes to me,
Oh, exactly.
And baseball, of course, baseball, but I absolutely loved playing football. Mike, I was so passionate about it, and I dreamed of being, again, start to laughter now. I dreamed of being a professional football player. When I was younger, I loved playing running back. I wanted the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fast. I could do all that good stuff, and I
zigzag around.
Zigzag around it. Yeah, it sounds silly, but
it's not silly.
I had hopes. I really had hopes.
Feel it.
And my long-winded example is finally ending because I remember my my older cousin, who shall go nameless. He, at the time, I respected what he had to say, and he was a large guy. I don't know where he came from. He's like a 6'3", 260. He's a big guy. And he was
not typical to the Koffenberg family, or is it the other side?
Not the Koffenberg side. No, my mom's side.
Okay, sure. Okay.
And I admired him. I looked up to him. And one day he was talking to me about what I wanted to be. And I said, I want to be a football player. And he just said, give up. He says, you're too small.
And that was it.
And it crushed me. I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
And so I said this long-winded story as an example as what you were talking about. If it's pounded into your brain as a kid that ghosts are silly, or the idea of them existing is silly, you're probably going to grow up feeling that way. And
the example that you just put out about yourself, it still sticks with you.
Absolutely.
But you got to get over it, Patrick.
I know. I still have dreams of being a 47-year-old star running back. But it was an example, but I think you got the point.
You could actually be part of the goalpost, maybe.
I could.
Or one of the uprights on the right side, or the up. No.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, maybe I'll somehow be used in the discovery of Jimmy Hoffa somehow.
You could be hanging from a goalpost as an effigy or something.
I could be some sort of teeny tiny mascot. I mean,
after the game, they burn you.
Okay, now we're getting a little extreme here.
Yeah, I know. You could be a piñata full of
got it.
All kinds of stuff. Anyway,
anything else? A trash can? A living trash can?
No, we don't want to go that far.
Okay. I hand out the toilet paper at the end of each game, or the towels.
All right. We're done with this one.
Here you go, large man. Here's your towel.
And then you get the dirty one thrown.
And then I get the dirty ones thrown back on me.
It smells like sweaty crotch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Notice I did not say the P word on that.
No, you did. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Last question here for our first dive into Ghost Gab, Mike. And I think this is a pretty, it pertains to
it's very pertinent.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Me lean my head on
what
my hand.
I know. Well, I'm trying to decide between two of these, so I'll go with this one.
Okay, go ahead.
What is the main reason why a ghost would haunt a house?
Ooh, there's a lot to go with that.
I know, but again, what first pops into your brain? Why do you think a ghost hangs around a particular house?
Okay, we all know and we always hear unfinished business. That's like, we hear that all the time. It's redundant, but true.
Yes. Nope. And we think it is true. Very true.
Well, absolutely true. And it could be anger, sadness, not wanting to leave a certain place or a certain person. It has an attachment to whether they know what it is or not. I mean, look at the movie. I'm losing it.
So, but what you're saying, Mike's looking around.
Go ahead.
Mike's looking around his shoulder frantically. He's trying to find like a DVD or something. I don't know what you're doing.
Betelgeuse, yeah. Look at that. They were stuck in that house. They tried to leave, but the goddamn sandworms were not going to let them go. That kept them there. That was spirit bound in their own house. But anyway, that's a bad analogy.
No, it isn't. No, it's a great analogy. Would it be safe to say that, just judging by your answer, obviously the first thing popping in your brain was unfinished business? Is that what you kind of are going with? Is unfinished business in a variety of ways, or is it more of an attachment thing?
Well,
or they don't know that they're dead type thing. I mean, what?
Don't know that they're dead. That's very true. That they think that they're still living their daily life. You know, example, The Others, you know, that movie that we talked about before and just loved.
Great movie.
You know, pissed off at somebody that they are going to be there and they're going to haunt your ass until you die.
Yeah.
Because they feel you deserve it. Demonic hauntings.
Oh man, I know there's so many.
They are there to cause the problem. And notice I'm talking like I believe in demons.
I know you are. I'm proud of you.
That they're there to change your way of thinking, to bring you down to make you kill yourself, for crying out loud. You know, the pain, the scratches, the whatever. You know,
you lose your sanity at the very least. A lot. You know, that's the goal. It seems. You know?
That's happened. Yeah.
So let's mark it down. Let's mark your answer down. Final answer for that. Let's mark your answer down. Final answer as unfinished business. Is that fair?
With a lot of baggage that goes with it. Yeah.
Right. I know there's so much. There's so many different ways we can go with that one. But for tonight, for the first dive into Ghost Gab, we'll say unfinished business.
Yeah.
We'll go with unfinished business.
Okay. Good deal.
Well, gosh, Mike, we got so many things. I'm looking forward to diving in all of these segments. We're going to wrap it up with one final one for tonight, because again, we don't want to be overdoing it with
but
with the alliterated segments. Okay, what?
But sorry, what was the best thing before bread? I don't know that answer to that question. Listeners, if you have an answer, throw it out there.
Were you supposed to say sliced bread in that? Isn't that the same?
Well, sliced bread is the correct answer, and
okay, but
if it was a game show, I would have lost.
Yeah, you would have got the buzzer on that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Alex Trebek would not be proud of me. Wherever he is, God rest his soul.
This is a fun one to end with, Mike. Haphazard Horrors here. We're talking about... no, not Haphazard Horrors. Sorry, we're talking about Monster Musings. We already did Haphazard Horrors, but this is...
Yeah, don't go back to that again.
No, but you know what I'm looking for? I think that's going to be a great segment, though. I like it.
Hopefully we'll find out.
You don't seem excited about that one. I'm happy.
I did. I was great. I was proud of my answers. I really ripped them out there.
I think you did just fine. Yeah,
I think it's actually being back on my mental health meds.
Very good.
I was out of for way too long.
So, Mike,
I was able to get them the other day, and now I'm fine. But go ahead.
I think a good idea, and listeners let us know, is that every other episode we'll switch up the segments. Okay, so
absolutely.
We won't go like next week. We will not do Ghost Gab. We will not do Monster Musings. We will not do Haphazard Horror. We will in fact do like Paranormal Puzzlers. We'll do Blast from the Past. We'll do Supernatural Slant. We'll do Conspiracy Corner or something like that, and then we'll go back to what we did tonight. See what I'm saying?
Right, but also within these things, we have to do like the true crimes and the deep dive into 100% of a subject. I mean, like we have, or like we're getting back into. We need to do that deep dive research and put out what we know to the listeners.
No, I agree. So, and we're an open book here. We don't do any really. We don't mind having on-air production meetings. That's what we're doing right now. So,
yeah.
And trust us on the Patreon content. It's going to be awesome stuff. I mean, we already have like damn near 70 exclusive episodes. 70. They're all full-length episodes, and they're really. We've had a blast with them. We think you guys will enjoy it. And I hope the
listener that we have on Patreon enjoys them.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's a lot of other stuff on there too, man. If you're into our ghost hunting adventures, go check it out. We are in the process. I am not joking. We are in the process because I will have time.
No lie.
We will have time this summer to make a return trip to the Sally House. Mike,
yes, that is a plan.
I cannot wait.
That is a go-to plan that we have.
I cannot
and it's going to be
wait.
different this time.
It's going to be different. It's going to be better. And we're going to do it properly, and we're going to spend a hell of a lot more time investigating.
And we're not going to eat McDonald's this time because Oh, I spent too much time in that crappy, scary-ass bathroom.
There was a closet with a toilet. That's what it was.
Yeah, and the door wouldn't shut, and I was afraid that Patrick was going to come and peek in and stuff, and I did not like that idea. Mike, what are you doing?
You do not have to worry about that.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're wiping. I'll let you have your. Anyway. What's that smell? It smells like rotten McDonald's.
It's definitely not the ghostly sulfur smell. It's Mike. That's what it is.
I bet you if I wouldn't have been doing that, Sally would have been around a lot more. We would have gotten more action.
I'm blaming your bowel movements. Okay, Mike.
We are gonna try and sneak down to the basement this time.
We're not even going to try to. We're going to. Which reminds me, I was watching Nick Groff, former Ghost Adventures star, and star of several other of his own personal ghost hunting shows. His ghost hunting
just
adventures.
there the other night.
He was just there, and he's posting several clips, and he was sleeping in the upstairs bed.
Yeah, and he was there by himself.
But I thought that was off limits.
It was off limits. I think there was a note there that said, "Do not sleep in the bed." We sat on him.
So what did he pay extra to sleep in the bed? I mean,
well, but he's Nick Groff, though. I mean, and you and I are just
I would have gladly
struggling podcasters that are.
I would have gladly forked over a few extra if I had to, or just I wouldn't even bother forking over stuff. If people sleep in it randomly, I would have gladly have done that instead of sleeping on that flipping floor that I swore was infested with mice.
If you would have slept in Sally's room, and I would have slept in that other one that has so much weird activity going on.
Oh, man.
And had the recorders going all night.
Oh,
why didn't we do that?
Why didn't we do that?
Well, next time we got a bigger plan.
And we need several more recorders too for like each room.
Velisca. Just going to throw that out there.
The only thing, if we would have left a recorder going last time, all we would have heard was Mike snoring.
And Patrick farting a few times. And complaining about the noises he heard through the floor in the basement. What's that noise? I keep hearing this noise. It's a sump pump. It's raining.
And you know what? I wasn't complaining. I told you that one time after you woke up.
Yeah.
And you were intrigued, and I didn't say
I was. Yeah.
I wasn't complaining. Good Lord.
Right, you weren't. But you were complaining about the chair that you were going to sleep in because you heard. You swore you heard some rat in there.
I thought it was infested with mice.
It looked like it very well could have been. Anyway.
Anyways, sorry everybody. Okay, Mike, it's time for weekly monster musings. These are random cryptid encounters of all things weird, strange, and mysterious. We'll have different sources for these every other week, but this is fun. These are just brief encounters that we will share and discuss.
Okay.
Chat
amongst yourself.
Yes, it is not dated, but this is shared from one Cynthia Oxley. And I'm going to read exactly what she wrote, okay?
Okay.
She wrote, it's a short little brief description. She said, I was night fishing on a lake with my back to a wooded area. I was in a chair with a small lantern beside me under a full moon. That's a great setting already.
Very.
I heard a noise and turned to my right to see what was coming out of the woods. I'm thinking it was a raccoon or possum. But I then saw a humanoid that looked like it was running on all fours with its rump up in the air, running straight towards the water.
It was in estrus. Sorry. Rump up in the air. Was it red by any chance?
Was it
anyway, go ahead.
Was it an in
It's a rogue chimpanzee.
I was going to say it was an
You can tell it was a female because the breasts were swaying. Anyway, go ahead. That's a Bigfoot referral.
Yeah, I was trying
Patterson Gimlin. But anyway, go ahead.
I was trying to fit in my hilarious question if it was a baboon in heat, but
okay.
But Mike kept talking over me, and that was fun.
I did. Well, I wasn't done talking.
I know.
Go ahead.
So she saw a humanoid that looked like it was running on all fours with its rump in the air.
I'm not going back.
Running to the water. I froze and slowly pulled my Bowie knife out from beside my left leg and had it ready to use if it came near me. This thing was beige in color, under the moonlight now. She said it was hairless and naked. She described it as moving fast, and it went into the water with hardly any noise. It disappeared underwater and didn't come up for air to surface. No idea what it was, and since she was busy catching fish, apparently it was a good night, she decided to not leave, and she stayed there until the sun came up 2 or 3 hours later. She asked, does anyone have an idea of what this was? Humanoid, hairless. She at first thought it was a raccoon or a possum, but then when she got a better look, she described it as humanoid on all fours with its rump in the air, going under the water and not resurfacing.
Well, it could have resurfaced downriver a little bit where she couldn't see around the bend.
100%. Yeah, I got
after
you.
a fallen tree or something. But,
Exactly.
the first thing that comes to my mind, feral human being.
Oh, that's a great one. That didn't even cross my mind. That's a good answer.
Depending on the size of it, because, if it reminded her of a possum or a raccoon, was it that size, or did it seem like that as it was coming?
And again, it's you're under the moonlight. Your perception, the size perception is probably off. I mean, you underestimate or overestimate. So yeah,
She could be a young feral human being, Romulus and Remus.
Why does that creep me out?
Yeah.
That creeped me out that you said it was perhaps a young wild man, basically.
Feral human being.
Oh man, I like that. Let's go with that
Raised
one.
by raccoons and possums.
So nothing paranormal to you, nothing cryptid related.
Well, it could be very cryptid. I mean, that's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
It could be another species of something that we haven't found yet. Is it like
She said it was beige. It appeared to be beige, and she said it was silent.
Was this recent? More recent?
I don't know. I said earlier
Okay.
there wasn't a date on it. I do not know.
Could it be? Yeah, like when Bigfoot first was discovered, so to speak, by more modern times and people.
Mm-hmm.
How many other species of things could be out there that we haven't found yet? I mean, every day there are new species of something being found, whether it's an insect or a plant,
all the time. All the time. Yep, exactly, Mike. New species are discovered by the thousands, every year, it seems.
And you would think that, something like that, a feral human being, you think that, that would be easier to discover, but maybe there's that intelligence that, like the Bigfoot, they aren't going to be seen unless they want to be seen, or if it's a rare chance encounter, like what she may have had.
You know what popped into my brain right now? Could be silly.
Tell me.
Could be silly.
No, don't think that. Just say it.
How about the young offspring of an interspecies relationship? I'm talking Bigfoot / human.
Well, I wonder what they do on Saturday nights for a date.
What type of date would exactly?
Yeah.
Would Bigfoot be polite? Would he pay for everything in his own Bigfooty way?
He doesn't have to pay for nothing.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But would he be charming? Would he be able to swoo a lady off of her feet? Swoo? Is that the word? Sweep a lady.
Swoon. Sweep.
I was mixing swoon and sweep off of her feet.
Well, we don't know all the personalities of a Bigfoot. All we know of is the encounters that there've been. The stories of, I was abducted by a Bigfoot for a week, and stayed with their family and ate their whatever it was they ate. They could very well have a sensitive side since they're humanoid to me, just in that different, huge, hairy form. We don't know their personality. We don't know their thoughts on any structural, whatever.
We had that was one of our first episodes that when we originally switched to the Paranormal Zone, Mike, the story about the man claimed to have been kidnapped by Bigfoot.
Right, exactly. It was a great story.
And the only way that he escaped was sliding his pouch of chewing tobacco to the daddy Bigfoot, and then the daddy Bigfoot ate it and got nauseous, and he was able to escape. Albert Ostman, I believe, was the old man's name. So
And he started throwing at bugs and different plants and things that he and chunks of fish that he.
Man,
I'd run too. I'd be gone. I'd be puking. I would not be able to handle that.
Now, do you
imagine the sound that a Bigfoot would make puking?
Oh God. I wonder if any of that was what was picked up on Ron Moorhead's Sierra Sounds. It was actually him barfing into like a sandwich bag or something.
Yeah, when he was flipping the toilet lid. Like,
I love that. I love that part. How it sits there and just flapping on the lid. Now, getting back to Bigfoot sweeping a woman off her feet and producing a love child, a love pig person, human foot. I don't know what you would call them.
Well, there are some sick humans
out
there.
Do you think Bigfoot would have the knowledge to maybe perhaps put on some deodorant? I mean, we hear that this guy stinks.
I think they love the way they smell, and that's what they stay with.
And it's natural. That's all natural.
Yeah, it's all natural. Yep.
Okay. So, maybe, Mike, it was, you say like a feral wild man. Maybe I threw out the weird suggestion. It's the offspring of an interbreeding catastrophe.
And all of those can be considered cryptids to me, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's still a cryptid situation, but...
Well, Mike, I think it's time to wrap this one up. This has been great. This has flown by. Holy crap. Had a good time, my friend. Had a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So are you ready for more of this? We're going to continue this new format until we get told not to. Does that sound okay?
That's right. But, I just want to stress again, the deep dive subjects, it's not always going to be like a fun and game thing.
I thought you were going to throw out some more ponderables.
Paranormal, though. What?
I thought you were going to throw out another wonderful ponderable there for a second. That's why I sighed. I sighed deeply. It's okay. You don't have to. You've done just fine.
If Barbie is so popular, why do you have to buy her friends? I don't understand that either. I don't know.
No, that's a good one.
What do you call a defective milk dud? If it's already a dud, what do you call it if it's defective? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yes, please stop.
What happens if you put a chameleon into a mirrored box? Ponder that one. Ponder. Anyway, that's what I'm going to finish that with.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. So next week...
my shepherd is surrounding me. She knows we're about done.
I know, they can sense it. Well, again...
Every episode.
We hope you guys stick around with us during this. Again, nothing too drastic as far as the changes, but some subtle changes to the format. We think it'll be for the better. We think it'll be fun. But starting in April, we're limiting the flagship episodes to 2 a month, and we are... not replacing them, but we are maybe making up for that fact with multiple Patreon exclusive episodes in the same month.
And don't think that we're trying to force you into becoming Patreon members.
No. Mike and
maybe 2 episodes of the flagship a month are going to be too much for people already. Still,
right?
You never know.
In all sincerity, we've had a good back and forth about this, because it's a hard decision to make. It really, really is, because we also want to throw in there. We have to do more video YouTube content. We just have to.
I've been talking to Patrick about this for years.
I know. Well,
we've got to do video. I know it's a hassle for him. I mean, he doesn't like to think of it as a hassle because he's putting out something that's really good, but it takes more time. It takes more whatever, but
I've just had bad luck with it. And it's been frustrating.
But we have to do it. We have to do it.
But what this hopefully what this will do will free up more opportunities for us to do this. We want to have more YouTube exclusive stuff. We want to continue with the flagship, and we want to have more Patreon. And to do that, we simply have to kind of slow down on the flagship episodes and see how that goes. And we're looking forward to it. We're excited. Again, if you enjoy the content, there's no better way to support us than give the Patreon page a shot. It's growing, it's great, and it's only going to get better. That's no joke. Lots and lots of content coming your way. So,
Mike, the thing is that we want to keep you all updated on this.
Oh yeah.
And like when we changed the name, well, somebody screwed up with that a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? You also lost awesome EVPs. Okay.
I did. Oh, well, absolutely. I'm not coming down on you all. But when French people swear, do they say, oof, pardon my English?
Okay, just end now, okay? Because
I'm done.
You had some good ones. The last three they've been duds. You had one that was a pun on a dud, and it was a dud.
Yeah, I know.
So let's just stop. Let's let the listeners go. Let's let the listeners digest tonight's episode, and let us know what you guys think of the new format. We're going to stick with it. We think it'll be really, really cool and really, really fun.
And we want to do it for the betterment for all of you. And it's what we do, what we want to do, what we want to make better.
Yes.
Better content.
195%, because this is a passion of ours, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
It's a love and passion of ours. I've got I've got 10 years just about.
I know.
Whatever, invested in my soul and my heart with this crappy shit that we put out. I mean, so. But if the cops arrest a mime,
oh, for God's sakes!
Do they still have to tell him he has a right to remain silent? Yes or no?
Yes, because they have to by law. They have to. Because
they really can talk, and mimes freak me out, so I don't even know why I said that.
Okay, Mike.
Anyway, we have to finish this on this note. Peace out.